Good night, everybody. Are we ready now?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go now. So I'm happy that you're all here. And in our session tonight, we're going to be looking at, again, from the PEP ability book. We're going to be looking at page 72. We're going to look at exercise 90. Based on the time, we're only going to be looking at one question. So we're looking at exercise 90. And we're looking at number 1. If you have your book, could you read it for me, please?
A pie chart shows how a man spent his weekly salary of 1,500. One-fifth is spent on food, 310 on
Utilities.
utilities, and the balance on rent. How much money did he spend in rent?
All right. So a pie chart, we know we could say it's a circle graph, right?
Yes, sir.
This one will not be drawn to scale. I'm just putting in something here. So we could say that the divisions now will tell how the things are used. So we know that he used 1/5 on, let's just probably call this the 1/5. Let me switch colors here. 1/5. And then let's say he spent 3/10, and we'll just go and call this 3/10 in here. 3/10 on utilities, and the rest of it is on rent. Let's call that rent. So this part would be what? The 1/5 is on food.
Yes,
Right?
sir.
And this 3/10 is on utilities. Right? And the rest here, we don't know what this is. And this is what we're trying to find out. Okay? And
Yes,
we
sir.
know that the total amount of money that he had was what?
$500.
$1,500. All right. Any idea how we could look at that? What could we do? I see that we have Jordan. I'm not sure if it's Jordan, but I see a few people here. I wish they would come into the chat so we could actually have them participating, but we're happy that they're here as well. So let's go. How could we approach this particular question? We need to find out that missing amount. What could we do?
Multiply.
What would we multiply?
Um, the 1/5 and 310.
Not quite. That's not the approach I would use. Any other idea? Anybody? Anybody else?
Sir.
What could we do? Miss Brown, what do you think?
Yes, sir.
How else could we approach this particular question?
Sir, I just came back. What page?
We're at
Page
page
72.
72, exercise 90. We're looking at number 1. I'll give you a second to catch up.
Yes, sir. Weekly salary.
Found it? So it
Yes,
says here
sir.
a pie chart. A pie chart, and another term for a pie chart is a circle graph. Shows how a man spends his weekly salary of $1,500. It says 1/5 is spent on food, 3/10 on utilities. The balance is spent on rent. How much money does he spend in rent? So how we can work that out? Any ideas?
Sir, you multiply?
Hear that. What and what we're multiplying? Any idea? All right, let me help you guys out and start. So we know the amount of money that he spent was that he earns is 1,500, and it says 1/5 of that amount is spent on food. Let's find out what that 1/5 is. We multiply that by 1/5. We make this 1,500 a fraction by putting it over 1, and now we're going to reduce as best as possible. So we would say 5 into itself one time and 5 into the 1,500. What would that give us?
300.
Very good. So this will give us 300 because 5 can go into 15 3 times. 5 into 0, 0, 5 into 0, 0. So it's 300 over 1, which is the same as 300. So the food amount is what? $300. See that?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Now we need to find, so this would be the section for food. All right. Then if we, let me swap colors. If we go to the, what's the other one? The what? Utilities.
It is
Right. This would be again 1,500, but now we're going to multiply it by what? 3.
310.
310.
All right. So now we're going to divide both sides by 10. So if we divide this by 10, divide this by 10, then we are left with this 150 now multiplied by 3. So this would give us 3 times 150 gives us what?
450.
450. All right, cool. If we add these two together, what do we get now? 450 and 300. What do we get?
750.
Can't hear you. Go again.
750.
I'm not hearing you. Say that again.
750.
All right, good. So if we add the amount on food and the amount on utilities, we get 750. So if we know that this part is 300 and this part is 450, and if we want to find out what this side is and we know that the total is 1,500, what do we do?
Sir,
Any idea?
750.
We're going to take 750 from the 1,500. It would be like if I know that one patty is $50 and one bag juice is $20 and I had $100. You add those and take away and you know what the rest is. So let's do this. 0 from 0 would be what? 0.
0.
5 from 0, that can't, 5 from 0, that can't work. So we'll take 1 from the 5, leaving me 4 here.
4.
Take that 1, this makes 10. 5 from 10 would give me what?
5.
5 here. And then 7 from 14 will leave me with 7. So he
7.
has 700 and what? $50 left
50.
here. All right. So basically, this would be $300 for, let me swap colors. $300 for food, 450 for utilities, and
Utilities.
750 for
50 for
rent.
Rent.
For the rent. We see
Yes.
that?
Yes,
See
sir.
that work? All right. Now, that is the straightforward way of looking at it. I want you to look at it in another way as well. All right. Let me get a new page here. All right. So we could look at it like this now. We know that he spent 1/5, true, and then
Yes, sir.
he spent another 3/10. If we add these together, we'll know how much money he spent in all. right? In terms of a fraction. So let's go. 1/5 plus 3/10. What would we need to do now? We need to find the what? Anybody? We need to
The
find the
LCM.
LCM.
LCM. And the LCM of 5 and 10 is 10. That's the lowest common multiple. So 5
Yes,
into
sir.
10 would go how many times?
2 times.
2 times. And 2 times the 1 here will give me 2. And then we're going to add now 10 into what? 10 into 10. How many times?
2 times.
1 time.
time.
And 1 times 3 would give me what?
3.
3.
So we add that and we get 5 tenths. All right.
over 10.
So if we have 5
Yes, sir.
tenths here, this is what he spent. So if he
Yes,
spent
sir.
5 tenths, the whole must be what? 10 out of 10. So if the whole is 10 parts out of 10, and he took out 5 tenths, and that is what he has spent, how much money would he have had left now?
A half.
Good, a half, because we would say 5 from, we'll keep the denominator the same, and say 5 from 10 would leave us with 5. And we could then what? Reduce and say 5 into itself 1 time, and 5 into what? 10 2 times. So we get a nice half. So this is saying that he has half of his money left. So if we look at 1,500, 1,500, and we multiply that by a half, let's put this over 1. So it's a nice and neat fraction. And then we come back now, and we would say 2 into itself 1 time, 2 into 15 goes 7 times, remainder 1. 2 into the 10 would go 5 times, and 2 into 0, 0. We see that we have what? 750 over 1, which is the same as what? 750.
So that's 50.
All right, $750. So here we go. Either way you look at it, you are supposed to get 750 as your answer. So if you looked at it this way and you say, okay, first let me find out how much he spent for the food, $300. Then let me find out how much he spent for the utilities, $450. And I'm going to add that, and I get a total of 750. And if he started out with 1,500 and I take out the 750, I'm supposed to be left with 750. Okay? That's one approach. And if you look at the other way to say, hey, if he spends 1/5 and he spends 3/10, if I add those together, I get 5/10. That means he spends 5/10 of the money. 5/10 of the money is half of it. So if he spends a half, then he will have a half left. So all I need to do is find a half of the 1,500. That's what we did here. And I see that I end up with 750. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So in terms of it, for tonight, that is all I have planned. Any questions, any little thing else that you guys want to talk about before we go? Anything else? If not, then you can try a few more of those questions. The last time we spoke, we were on page 68. So you can try a few more so that when we get to class, it's a little bit easier for the discussion to flow. All right, guys?
So, one more?
Yes, sir.
Say again?
So we can do one more?
No, I don't want to hold you guys, and it's almost 9. So we can do another one tomorrow, but use this one as a starting point, and you do 2 on your own. So tomorrow when we come to class, we can do some more. Okay?
Yes.
Want to make it nice
Yes,
and
sir.
spicy and thing. All right, guys. So take care. Thank you for coming out, and I will see you tomorrow evening again. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right, guys. See you.